Vaya. Om Bhagavate Vaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayanti Nashtaprayeshu Nityabhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So as we decided yesterday, today some of the glories of Lord Nityananda being his appearance day. So Lord Nityananda came with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on the planet. Lord Nityananda is incarnation of Balramji. So Nityananda Prabhu, he appeared 12 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And he appeared in this village called Ekchakra Gram. This Ekchakra Gram, historically, it's the same village where Pandavas resided when they were into exile. Not after the dies, but when they were conspiracy was there to kill them, to burn them alive in that house of lac. So after that, they moved around and they went to Ekchakra and they stayed there for some time, where Bhima killed this demon named Vrikasura or Vakrasura. Anyway, Lord Nityananda appeared there, and his father's name was Hadai Pandit, mother was Padmavati. And there he appeared, and he used to have wonderful plays with all the boys there when he was very little. They used to enact all the pastimes of Lord Krishna while playing around. So one day they were playing and they were enacting the pastimes of Lord Krishna, especially of Lord Ram and Lakshman when they had gone to fight with Ravan. So one boy in the play, he just picked up one lotus flower and threw at Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda was acting like Lakshman, and he's originally Lakshman. And Lord Nityananda fell down unconscious, just like Lakshman was unconscious by this, the weapon thrown by Indrajit. And when Nityananda Prabhu, he fell down unconscious, and he was so dear to everybody, all the whole village gathered around him. And they were crying, there was no sign of any life in Nityananda Prabhu. And they were crying, oh, what happened? What happened to Nitai? What happened to Nitai? Then all of a sudden one boy remembered, oh yeah, actually, he told me, this boy was acting Hanuman. And he told me if something like this happens, you should go to Gandhamadhan mountain and get that Sanjeevani booty. And then the Hanumanji, this boy who was acting like Hanuman, he went and they had all the props of Gandhamadhan, and he brought something, some flower, some leaf, acting like though this is a Sanjeevani booty, and he gave it to the doctor. Doctor put it on the nose of Nitai, and all of a sudden Nitai came back to life. And all the villagers, his mother, father, everybody was happy, very happy. And then they were thinking, how come he knows all these pastimes? We never taught him. And if I would say all times, I know all of them, and they wouldn't understand what exactly he's talking about. So when he was a little older, 12, 13 years old, now he had to leave the house because he knew Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared and he has to go to Navadvip. So everybody was so affectionate towards Nitai, they wouldn't even part ways with him. His father would always keep him by his side. And so then Nityananda Prabhu, he enacted, a Brahman came to the house of Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. And he stayed there overnight. The Hadai Pandit served him very nicely. A whole night they had Krishna Katha. And in the morning when he was leaving, the Brahman asked Hadai Pandit, can I ask you for something? And Harai Pandit was, yes, we are supposed to give you some donation. Please tell me what I can do for you. The Brahman, he was actually a sannyasi, and he said, actually, I'm going to go to different places of pilgrimage, and I'm alone. I don't have any assistant, any servant with me. So why don't you give me your son to go with me? And this was like a thunderbolt crashing on the heart of Harai Pandit. And he was like, what did he ask? How can he ask this? But he was afraid if I say no, it'll bring dishonor to our family. And I said no to a sannyasi. So he asked his wife, and wife said, whatever you decide, that will be my decision. So finally, they let go of Nityanand Prabhu with that sannyasi, and the whole village they went a little bit further, far distance, and Hadai Pandit went with them. But when they were crossing the village, they said, You should go back. Now we can be on our own." But then the whole village they came to know about this, and all the villagers they were running. They say, "Oh, let me give my son to sannyasi. My son knows how to cook, how to clean. Nitai doesn't even know what is Nitai going to do with that sannyasi." And one guy said, I'll go with that sannyasi. What is the point? Let Nitai stay back in the village. Somebody said, let him take all my sons, but let Nitai stay back. But when they were running, they tried to look for that sannyasi and Nitai, and they both had just disappeared. Nobody could find them. And after that, it is said that for 3 months, Bhadai Pandit and Padmavati didn't eat anything. They were just crying and always thinking about, talking about Nitai, always remembering him, remembering his pastimes. And they didn't eat anything. Only the thoughts of Nitai preserved their bodies. And in fact, it was the whole village, like the life has gone from that village. And after 3 months, both Padmavati and Hadai Pandit, they left their bodies. And after that, pretty much all the villagers, they left. They said, we cannot live here. Villagers stayed. They were still in the hope that Nitai would come back. And then they were thinking, like, if Nitai comes back and he sees a village deserted, he will not like it. And but Nitai went around and he went with that Brahman sannyasi to different places of pilgrimage. And then obviously that sannyasi was just to get Nitai out, and then Nitai was on his own. After a while, he went all over India to different places of pilgrimage, Vrindavan, Mathura, Ayodhya, Kurukshetra. In fact, he came to Delhi also, it is said, because he came to see the place where Pandavas used to live. He went to Jagannath Puri, he went to South India, all over India he traveled. And then finally he came to Vrindavan and he stayed there till Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to start his Sankirtan pastimes. So Mahaprabhu, when he started his Sankirtan pastimes at Shrivas Angan, then one day he told all the devotees, oh, last night I had a wonderful dream. And in that dream, a very powerful, very beautiful personality came on his chariot, and he was wearing blue robes. And on his chariot, he came to my house, and he knocked on the door, and he was asking, "Is this the house of Gaur Hari? Is this the house of Gaur Hari?" And Mahaprabhu said, we opened the door, and I said, yes, this is Gaur Hari. And he said, I'm Balram, I'm his brother. And he came in, and then I got up, Mahaprabhu said. And then he told Shrivas Thakur and Haridas Thakur, I think a wonderful personality has come to our village. Why don't you go and look for him? So they both went all around. And for 9 hours, they kept on searching. They couldn't find. They came back, they gave the report. Mahaprabhu, we didn't find anybody, any wonderful personality who has just come to this town. Mahaprabhu said, no, I know where is he hiding. So he started from Shrivas Angan and he came to the house of Nandanacharya. And that is where Nityanand Prabhu was staying. And when Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Nityanand Prabhu and they both met each other, they both embraced, and Nityanand Prabhu was just looking at the beauty, the beautiful face of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they both went into ecstasy. They just embraced and they fell down unconscious. All the devotees were chanting, dancing. And then this is how they both met for first time in this pastime. So then Nitai came with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they both used to be in the kirtan at Srivasangam. And after a while, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur that we have to start preaching. So you two should go together and preach to everybody and tell them to chant the names of Krishna. Think of Krishna, chant the names of Krishna, and Krishna will be very, very merciful upon you. And they both started going, Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. And in the evening when they would come back, they would give the report to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that today what happened, what kind of preaching we did. And one day Haridas Thakur, now just imagine Haridas Thakur is Brahmaji, who is incarnated as Haridas Thakur, and Balramji came as Nityanand Prabhu. So one day Haridas Thakur, because he was in age-wise, he was much older than Nityanand Prabhu, he told Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu himself. Just imagine all these wonderful personalities, and Srivas Thakur is Narad Muni. All the wonderful personalities assembled in Navadvip. So Haridas Thakur was telling Advaita Acharya, you know Advaita, you know what it is like to be with Nitai on a preaching mission? And then Advaita said, what happened? Haridas Thakur said, see, he is so restless. Because actually Nityanand Prabhu was restless because he was always maddened with the love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not even love of Krishna. He was mad with love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he would act completely differently, totally out of social customs. And Haridas Thakur was saying, you know, Nitai, it's so difficult to go with him to preach. Why, Advaita Acharya? What happened? You know, he would go to any house, and then he would go and instead of preaching, he would untie the calves, and the calves would go and drink the milk from the cows, and sometimes he would go and drink the milk from the cows, and these householders would come out and they want to beat us up, and this Nitai is young and he would run away. I am old, I run slower, and they would catch me and I would beg them, no, you leave him alone, it's okay, he's little man. And sometimes he would go and he would see a beautiful young girl on the street, and he would go after that girl and tell her, why don't you marry me? You should marry me. And then her brother and father would come, and Nitai would run away, but I would get in trouble. And he said, Haridas Thakur said, today Nitai, he did the most crazy things that we can think of. Advaita Acharya was asking, what did he do? Oh, this Nitai, he went straight to these two most debauchy people, the demoniac persons, Jagai and Madhai. And these two brothers, although they were Brahmins before, but they have become so fallen that there's not a single crime that they haven't committed. Whether it is killing people, whether it is raping the girls, whether it is looting people's property, and they're the worst people, worst sinners, even so, and they're so powerful, and they have so much money, so many men, they're so powerful, even the Kazi is afraid of dealing with them. And Nitai, when he saw these two brothers, they were drinking wine and they were making all kinds of sounds and noises and disturbing the society, and Nitai said, it will be great if these two brothers start chanting the holy names of Krishna. Then the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will reach far and wide. So I was telling him, don't go, but he won't listen. He went. And Nitai went to Jagai and Madai and told her, why don't you chant the names of Krishna? And Jagai and Madai, what? Who are you? Where did you come from? And run away from here, otherwise we'll beat you up. And they, Jagai Madai, they picked up some stones and rocks and they started running towards us. And Nitai and I had to run away from those two brothers. Somehow we got saved by Krishna's mercy, otherwise we would have been killed. And Advaita Acharya was laughing and laughing. And actually, Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu, they had a sweet relationship. They would tease each other and saying some bad words, but actually it was actually glorifying each other. So, and they gave the report to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu was, if Nitai has thought of giving them Krishna Prem, and Nitai has decided that these two brothers will get Krishna Prem, so very soon these two brothers will be part of our Sankirtan party. So anyway, another day, both Haridas Thakur, Nityanand Prabhu, they were traveling along Ganges, and Jagai and Madhai that day, they had camped near the Ganges, or near where Shirvas Angan, where Mahaprabhu used to have kirtan. And again, Nitai and Haridas Thakur Nitai again went to Jagai and Madhai, seeing them drinking and doing all sorts of nonsense. And again, even though I begged you earlier and I'm begging you again, chant the names of Krishna, and you will be delivered. You will have Krishna Prem. And Madhai, when he saw Nitai coming and saying like that, and he was disturbing the drinking activity, and Madhai, he picked up one of the pots which contained wine, and he hit it with full force. And he was huge; he was a big guy. Hit it with full force on Nitai's head. And Nityanand Prabhu, of course, he manifested blood coming out of his head. And Madhai wanted to hit him again, but Jagai stopped him. Jagai said, no. See, he looks like he's a very saintly person, because even after being hit by you and he's bleeding, but he's still praying you that please chant the names of Krishna. Don't worry about my blood. Chant the names of Krishna. He looks like a big sadhu, so don't hit him. And meanwhile, Haridas Thakur and other devotees who were with the party, they ran towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they asked Mahaprabhu, please come. They gave him the report that Madhai has hit Nityanand Prabhu and Nityanand Prabhu is bleeding. So Mahaprabhu right away came running to that spot, and he, looking at Nityananda Prabhu bleeding and Madhai with the wine pot in his hand and Jagai also over there, Mahaprabhu could not control himself. He immediately called Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra, come, I'm going to cut these two rascals' throats and I'm going to kill them. So Jagai and Madhai, when they saw Sudarshan Chakra in the hands of Mahaprabhu, they both fell down. They were trembling with fear, and they fell down at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. Please forgive us, please forgive us. And then Nityanand Prabhu held on to the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and told him, no. This is not Dwapar Yuga. This is Kali Yuga. You're not going to use the Sudarshan Chakra in this incarnation. Send him back. We haven't come to kill anybody. You have come to kill the demoniac consciousness, not the people. So send it back. So Mahaprabhu sent the Sudarshan Chakra back. And then Nityanand Prabhu said, everybody said, actually Madhai hit Nityanand Prabhu, but then Jagai stopped him from hitting again because looking at Nityanand Prabhu. So Mahaprabhu was very pleased with Jagai. And he said, Jagai, because you saved my Nitai Krishna Prem. And Jagai was very happy. We are very pleased, very satisfied. And Madhai then fell on Mahaprabhu's feet and he said, Mahaprabhu, what is this? We both were partners of the same crime. Whatever crime I committed, he committed. We were equally partners. How come he got Krishna Prem and I don't? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because you have offended Nityanand Prabhu, because you hit Nityanand Prabhu, I cannot forgive you. Only if he forgives you first, then you come to me. And Madhai fell down at the lotus feet of Nityanand Prabhu, asking him to forgive him. Nityanand Prabhu said, whatever pious activities I've done, I give Madhai all the results of those pious activities and let him get mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So hearing that, Mahaprabhu was so pleased and he also gave Madhai, okay, you'll also have Krishna Prem. And now you both come and join our Sankirtan party, join the Kirtan at Srivasana. And when Mahaprabhu, he blessed both of them, Mahaprabhu accepted them. And then Mahaprabhu's body, it became black by accepting the sins of Jagai and Madhai. And everybody was astonished. And Mahaprabhu said, chant Kirtan, chant Krishna's name, chant Hare Krishna Kirtan. And then when everybody started chanting, Mahaprabhu's original color, golden color, came back. So, actually, I just wanted to elaborate on this pastime only. There's so many wonderful pastimes of Nityanand Prabhu, but this one is very, very wonderful. And then what happened, when Jagai and Madhai, they got entry into Sankirtan, all the demigods were also watching all these pastimes from the air. And Yamraji looked at his assistant Chitragupta and he asked her, what are all the sins Jagai and Madhai have committed? And how come Mahaprabhu accepted them? And Chitragupta said, Yamraji, my dear Lord, there is no sin that these two brothers haven't committed. And not just haven't committed, and regularly, 24 hours a day, they commit sins only. And I have put a whole force, whole team of people to keep track of their sins. And my team, they are working so much overtime. They're literally telling me we are going to quit our job if we are going to keep track of these two boys' sins, brothers' sins. Their sins, I mean, we have got the database, like it's like a mountain high, that much database is there. But mercy of Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all their sins, the mountain, sins were like mountain, it has become like a mustard seed and they have thrown it away. Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And Yamraj, when he heard that, he started dancing. He is chanting the names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, and he started dancing and he was raising his hands and chanting and dancing and praising and glorifying Mahaprabhu. So look how merciful these two brothers are. And he rides on this buffalo. He rides on buffalo and he fell down from buffalo. He was dancing and chanting, seeing Yamraji dancing and chanting. Chitragupta also started chanting and dancing. Look in the glories of Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And from then, Narad Muni was passing by. And Narad Muni said, what is this happening? Well, how come Yamraji is so ecstatically dancing and chanting? And he asked, and then Chitragupta told him. And then Narad Muni started to dance and looking at Yamraji. And they all were holding on to each other and dancing and chanting, and singing the glories of Mahaprabhu. And Narad Muni's Veena went where he even didn't know where the Veena went. And then Shankarji was coming by. What is going on here, Narad? What's happening? And then Narad Muni told him the glories of Mahaprabhu. And Shankarji started chanting and dancing. His Damaru went somewhere he didn't know, and everybody was afraid this is not the time for Tandav Nritya. But Shankarji was very happy when he was dancing. Brahmaji came by and he started dancing and chanting. Everybody was so happy, looking at the mercy of Mahaprabhu and Nityanand. This is the mercy that Nityanand Prabhu came to give. It is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful, but Nityanand Prabhu is more merciful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives mercy to people who come to him with some thought of entering the kirtan or some desire to chant. But Nityanand Prabhu, he doesn't even wait for that. He runs after the people and he gives them this mercy. So they come and take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So today is the most merciful incarnation in the whole world, in the whole history. That is Nityanand Prabhu. He has appeared today. He himself is mad in love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he gives this love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to everybody and anybody without considering their position, without considering their offenses, their sins. He doesn't even consider anything. So we should take shelter of Lord Nityananda today. We should, if you get a chance, read more about Nityananda Prabhu. There is a beautiful book, Nityanand Charitamrita. I'll try to post it on the group. You read it about him. It's a beautiful book and so much of pastimes of Nityanand Prabhu, and so merciful he is. So merciful he is. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he established Gaudiya Math, he established 64 temples all over India. And everywhere he installed the deities of Gaur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. But when Srila Prabhupada started establishing temples and installing the deities, he said it's not enough. That's when he's the one who started the tradition of installing deities of Gaur Nitai separately from Radha Krishna. And he said, in this Western world, they cannot survive without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. They cannot come to the level of bhakti without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So that's why all the ISKCON temples, they have the deities of Gaur and Nitai Gaur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Because without mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, we cannot approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And without mercy of Mahaprabhu, we cannot have mercy of Radha. So today is very, very important, a very auspicious day for all of us. And we should take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu and beg for him to give us the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so we can also get Krishna Prema. Hare Krishna. So it's very short class. Maybe tomorrow again we'll discuss about Lord Nityananda. It's not enough. Half an hour is not enough for him. So anyway, I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Prabhuji, you can continue for another half an hour also. I think many of us can.
Some devotees are at work and they have to start working. Shashwati Mataji already in the office.
Prabhuji, please take the class tomorrow because
yeah, I'll continue with tomorrow.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji.